Happy to have everyone here. We'll go ahead and get the meeting called to order at 2. And I'll start with our roll call. I see Brittany Chandler is present.
Present.
Neely Glenn.
Present.
Mark Hayes. No. Howard Cottrell.
Here.
Lisa LeClaire.
Present.
Hank Lachlan. Present. Shannon Sanders. Here. Awesome, good to see you. And Quant Q Taylor is absent. I received a notification from him last night that he had a last-minute work trip, so he will not be in attendance. We do have 5 members, so we do have a quorum for this meeting. And we'll go right into our meeting, but first we did want to congratulate Dana for her promotion to CEO, President and CEO, so that'll be effective July 1st.
Not until July 1st.
July 1st, effective July 1st.
Thank
So
you.
wishing both you and Butch very well. So we'll proceed with our agenda, and I'll request approval of our minutes from November. Motion, thank you.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and properly second. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? No opposed? Motion, the minutes stand approved. Jeff, if you would provide us with a financial report?
Certainly. The report that's in your packet is through December 31st, halfway through our fiscal year. And pleased to report that financially the results continue to be very positive. This time the city has reported on the hotel tax collections received through November, and cumulatively for the 5 months ending in November, the 2% hotel tax collections received by Metro, which are dedicated by law to tourism promotion, have totaled $18,663,000. This exceeds the total from the prior year for this period by over 27%. So things are continuing on the right track. And it brings the string of record-setting months for tax collections on a month-by-month basis to 10 months in a row. As is reflected in the financial summary, the total that has been billed to the city for this fiscal year through December under our contract is $15,318,061. As the contract is a reimbursement-only contract, this total represents only the amount required to cover our actual expenses. The tax receipts themselves go directly to Metro, and therefore all funds collected above this contract reimbursement total remain with Metro for future tourism promotion use. Expenses for the year thus far are tracking very much in line with budget expectations, and in most instances are coming in under budget. Overall, our expenses for the 6 months totaled $21,085,790, of which about 72% was funded through the city contract. One category on the report, which is relatively small, but which is running somewhat over budget on a percentage basis, relates to the operations of our visitor information centers. At the request of the airport administration, we have advanced the timing for the opening of our new Music City shop in the newly redesigned airport terminal into the current fiscal year. It was originally supposed to be in the fall, but we moved it forward. The build out and operating costs for this new facility, coupled with the renovations taking place at our Bridgestone Arena Center, while easily covered by available funding, will cause the expenses reported on line 36 of the report to exceed the original budget. There are no other exceptions to report at this time, and as mentioned at our last meeting, the annual external CPA audit of our fiscal 22 financial statements has been completed. The report's been prepared. There were no adjustments made to the numbers as previously presented, and we received a clean opinion from the auditors. The report has been provided to Metro Finance. If I had any questions, I'd be glad to try to address those.
18 million in tax collection, is that beginning in July?
July through November,
Okay.
so it's just for 5 months.
Great recovery.
So for 5 months, it's 27% ahead of the 5 months of the previous year.
That's correct, yes.
Any tracking against 19? Do you have any tracking against 2019?
I don't have it with me, but
Okay.
last year exceeded 2019 by about
Okay.
20% in total,
Well, there you go.
so.
Answered my question. Thank you. Thank you for that report. We will move directly into our CVC staff report, starting with the president's report.
Okay, I'll do both president's and marketing report together. As you recall, we produced the Jack Daniel's New Year's Eve bash for Nashville. We had a 5-hour special just on Nashville on CBS. The ratings were really strong. I don't have the exact numbers, but we came in second to ABC New Year's Rockin' Eve again, and that was around the 4 million viewership, so it's really, really good. You remember that we had Brooks and Dunn, Kelsey Ballerini, and Zach Brown Band. It was the first time we've had 3 headliners. We also had Warren Treaty as special guest, and Jimmy Allen, Elle King, and Rachel Smith were the hosts this year. Visitor spending was a record-setting year with $38 million, 27% over last year's record-breaking performance of $30 million in 2021. So it was a very strong turnout. We sold 32,996 hotel rooms in Davidson County, which was a 13% increase over 2021 when we sold 29,000 rooms. Occupancy rate was 85%, one of the highest ever. And we had far more rooms to sell this year than we did last year. Attendance on site was 210,000 as an estimate, and that was also record-breaking. The most previous record-breaking was 200,000. 46% of in-person audience were visitors, which means 54% were locals. 76% of the visitors said the event was the top reason they came to Nashville, and hotels were their top choice for accommodations, with 71% staying in hotels, 20% staying in home rentals, and 8% stayed with family and friends. So again, it was a really good turnout for us. We also had, I think I mentioned last time, we had charitable components to the event. Ashley Furniture was one of our sponsors this year. And after they set up the lounges for our guests to enjoy, we donated that furniture. We donated 10 sofas, 16 accent chairs, and 24 accent tables to the Rescue Mission and Nashville State Community College. We also recovered, and we've done this several years, and we just haven't talked about it much, but we partner with the Care Kitchen Outreach, and all the unused food that is prepared, we donate to them. So this year they recovered 2,657 pounds of prepared food, and they give it to nonprofit groups around the city or directly to families in need, and that equates to 2,657 meals. We also partner with Second Harvest Food Bank, and we've done this for a few years, Second Harvest of Middle Tennessee. This year, we added another component where we gave $1 of every T-shirt sale to Second Harvest, and that we sold out of our T-shirts. We had about 600 T-shirts, and that, along with the online donations, equated to 3,300 meals that were given to Nashville families. So we're very proud of that. Moving on, we have coordinated for the second year in a row a Dine Nashville, which is a strategy for us to support local restaurants, to also promote the Nashville dining scene, and try to encourage travel to Nashville during a slower month. So it's the month of February. We have several chef collaborations. We have about 13 of those. Most are ticketed, and they're in the $200, $250 range, and almost all of them are sold out already for the second year in a row. There's still a couple left if anybody wants to go. Some really great chef collaborations. And then the last week of the month is Restaurant Week, where there are discounts and deals and prefix menus at about 40 restaurants. So you guys should check that out if you haven't. It's on our website under Dine Nashville. And that one also has a charitable component with the Giving Kitchen, where they help restaurant employees that need assistance in their times of need. So that money goes towards that. Also along the foodie scene, we have the James Beard Awards announcement event and fundraising dinner. The announcement will be the finalists for the James Beard. We have several semifinalists in Nashville, so it's great that we get to host this year. We are also doing a fundraiser for them the night before. This is the end of March, where we'll have several chefs there, we'll have a songwriter, and we'll be selling tickets to that event and helping raise money for James Beard's Foundation, along with Music City Inc. Foundation. On the PR side, we've just hosted an international press tour the end of January where we focused on neighborhoods and got those writers out into the different neighborhoods. So some good stories will be coming out from that. And we've also hosted 4 individual journalists, 3 from London, 1 from Dublin, and they represent publications like The Sun, Irish Daily News, Luxury Lifestyle Magazine, and more. So we're starting to get back into international marketing. And the last thing that I have, Jeff touched on it, we have just recently opened the Music City shop at the airport. If you're going through security, the new security banks, and look to the right, you'll see the Music City shop. Is if you are heading towards the AB gates for Delta. It's a small shop there, but has a lot of Nashville T-shirts, souvenirs that you can take home if you forgot to grab something while you're in town. So our sales are really pretty strong for just opening, so we're happy with that. So you guys check that out when you're going to the airport.
We saw it Tuesday
I'm so sorry.
when we flew in.
Did you see it?
Yeah, we flew in
Good.
Tuesday night and saw it, yeah.
How many locations across the city? We have one in Fifth and
We have
Broad.
one in Fifth and Broad. We have one in the Bridgestone Arena Glass Tower, which is being renovated right now, and then the new one in the airport. And the airport shop will be part of, it's a small shop, but once everything else opens in September, it will be part of the All Day Cafe and the Titans shop. So it'll all be one big shop. It'll open up to that. And it'll be in the it's in the grand lobby. It'll be part of the courtyard where the restaurants and everything is. So we'll get a lot of traffic there.
And is that beyond security or
Yes.
before? Beyond, okay. I saw the grand lobby, I just didn't see the shop.
You go through
and
the
that's
security
why.
and then it's right to the right. And there are other really nice shops there, like Country Music Hall of Fame has a shop there. Parnassus Books has a shop there, if you haven't seen it. Yeah, it's very nice. It's a great addition to the city.
I have a quick question. Relative to New Year's Eve, are we at capacity for that footprint or for that site?
Well, the way that we do it, it's on a flow. So it depends on who's on stage at the time. And if you stand there and watch, you'll see a lot of people coming in, a lot of people going out. I don't think we're at capacity yet because we still have a lot of overflow in the parking lots. And yeah, we're doing okay.
What did our Dublin visitors think? Was this the first time we've had somebody here from Dublin?
No.
No. Okay.
Maybe that publication.
Okay.
But yeah, we've had a lot. The Irish love Nashville.
Is this Belfast still our sister city?
It is. Mhm. And we're actually going over to Dublin in March as part of C2C. So we'll be doing a reception over there for clients.
Nice. All right, agent.
The sales team finished at 119% of our quarterly definite room night goal last quarter, which is great. Yeah, great team. So we're in a good position to finish up the rest of the year. Definite room nights are tracking 39% ahead of pace year to date over where we were last year, and leads are up 53% over last year at this point, which is a significant uptick. So the interest in the destination has not waned. Barring any major economic upheaval, we're in good shape to hit all of our goals this year. We have seen a few corporate cancellations here and there, but nothing to be alarmed about as of yet. We're conducting 2 sets of sales blitzes in coordination with our member partners in Phoenix and Denver in April. Out of those areas, interest out of those areas has been a little lackluster, so we're getting back out, spread the word about Nashville and into those and sales calls over those events. The Professional Convention Management Association, PCMA, hosted their annual convention in Columbus this year, January 9th through 11th. Our team was there interacting with the client set. We hosted our certified meeting planner breakfast. 250 CMP certified meeting planners and industry partners showed up for that event. We hosted with local singer-songwriter Adam Hambrick. He did a great job for us. And we sponsor that event annually. Folks line up the door at 7:30 in the morning. They look forward to the entertainment that we bring and always bring a top-level songwriter to those events. And so we'll continue to sponsor that event. It's good exposure for us. The tourism team returned today after exhibiting at American Bus Association, which is in Detroit this year. We took Jason Eskridge with us to perform for the group for the closing reception to generate excitement about the fact that we're hosting ABA's annual convention. January of '24, which will again be great exposure for the city from a group tour perspective. And then finally, we were excited to have hosted the Smart Flyer Core event, which was January 25th through the 27th, and that was at the Four Seasons. 250 high-end luxury group tour planners, travel agents showed up for that event. As a result of the additional higher-end luxury properties that we're seeing in the market, including the Conrad, the Four Seasons, Joseph, the One Hotel, the upcoming Ritz, it was a great time to get them in, to take a look at the city and see those properties, but the existing attractions, and they were out in full force experiencing the city at all levels. The National Museum of African American Music, Country Music Hall of Fame, all of the attractions they took in. And for perspective, next year they're actually going to be in London. So they take this event around the world, and it's great exposure for our city. Marie also coordinated a unique experience for them, and I know she wanted to speak to that.
Yes, it was very exciting. Smart Flyer Group is a great example on how a lot of our customers want to engage community while they're here. And so they reached out to us and was looking for a unique experience, wanted the Tennessee State University, now two-time Grammy Award-winning Tennessee State University Aristocratic Bands, to march them from their hotel, the Four Seasons, to the Country Music Hall of Fame, and it was amazing.
so cool.
Really
That
cool.
sounds
They
really
played,
cool.
yeah. Yeah, and we've seen a lot of that over the years, but that's really picking up with all groups want to connect in some way. Sometimes it is they book us and then they want to connect. For instance, Black Enterprise, headquartered in New York, clients are arriving actually today. They're hosting a health and wellness retreat tomorrow in partnership with Walmart and some events this weekend. And reached out to us because they were having a little trouble filling their attendance. And so we were able to connect them with over 120 plus community leaders to share the information, and they're completely sold out, very excited. And so, we just love to be a resource for our customers in that way. And then there are groups that must have local connections and local community engagement, or they can even select a city. So for instance, the National Newspaper Publishers Association will be here in a few months with us. These are newspapers, Black newspapers from across the country. They have met here before, I believe it was 10 years ago. The Tennessee Tribune is the host paper, and they are very engaged in this meeting. And of course, we will be too with our PR department, our PR team, and marketing team as well. And then lastly, a group called Sigma Pi Phi Boule, it is the oldest African-American fraternity, non-collegiate, in existence. And typically they do meet in high-end luxury destinations. They do have a local chapter who has been encouraging them to come to Nashville forever and talking to us about it. And so they have finally booked this smaller economic conference here this spring. Actually, the client will be here this weekend too, to plan. But they also have a larger convention, and we're definitely going to get an RFP for that as well, because they have been here before and they love Nashville. So it's just something that we want to remain engaged with our community and continue to build those relationships. That's it for me.
Cool. I like 119% of gold.
Exciting.
Yeah, more rooms in the city. All right, Bruce, we'll hear some market research. What's going on in the city of Nashville?
I got some more numbers for you.
All right, let's do it.
So today I'd like to review with the committee some recent research findings I hope you find interesting. First, I'm going to recap 2022, the finalized hotel results for the county, and then discuss what we're getting from STR when it looks at 90-day outlook of how occupancy booking pace is doing. Then I'm going to dive into some international research on what's going on in the greater U.S. market and how that relates to Nashville with bringing in international visitors, and kind of give a sneak peek by 2025, how many international visitors Nashville should see and from what markets. Lastly, I'm going to kind of follow up with what Dina did and do kind of a recap of New Year's Eve. We surveyed folks that attended, and I can give you some of those results as well. So you have a packet of this in your folder, so you can look at this data, but this is kind of giving you all the metrics for '22. In the county, there's right now 279 hotels in operation. Happy to report really solid year-over-year growth that we've been talking throughout this meeting. Occupancy for '22 was up 20.9% over '21. The ADR, the average rate across hotels in the county, was up 24.7%. The rate peaked in October, which was our record month, at 222 as an average rate. During this time, our hotel supply, number of rooms available in '22, went up by 5.4%. Excited with our demand numbers, that went up 27% year over year. And then with the more supply, more rooms being sold at higher rates, that brought in the room revenue at over 58% higher year over year. So we are running on all cylinders. Just some more data looking at '22 as it compares to 2019. Again, for '22, record-breaking hotel performance for a single year. Most room nights ever sold in a single year at 9.5 million rooms sold. Room demand, number of rooms sold, it's at 108% of where we were in '19. We brought in $1.87 billion in '22 in annual hotel revenue, all room revenue collected. That's at 122% of the 2019 level. As we kind of measure coming out of the pandemic and our recovery, we most certainly are recovered and growing. The more rooms sold, we're selling at significantly higher rates. The average rate overall for the year was $195. Going back to 2019, the ADR was $171, really leading to our success in bringing in more revenue for these overnight visitors.
Can I ask a question? This is a hotel specific. This does not include,
For this reporting, I'm reporting what I'm getting from STR for hotels.
Okay, very good. And is there a report or a similar tool for?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. You guys are busy.
Yes, we do leverage AirDNA, which tracks the Airbnbs, VBROs, the short-term rentals, and that market is also, as you can imagine, thriving in the city.
And if they're in Davidson County, they are also paying an addition.
That is my understanding.
We can stop comparing to 2019 based on this report.
I would really
right?
like to.
Yeah.
But looking at international, which I'm going to show you in a couple other slides, we still have to see some recovery there with international visitation. But for when it comes to hotel performance, yeah, we can, this is the year we're comparing against because it's our record year. So now just look at, I shared a similar report with you back in November. It's called the Forward Report, and it looks at 90 days out. So in this moment in time, how are the hotels looking occupancy pickup, and how much do they have on the books? This sample size it's a really good size. It's across Nashville, about 140 hotels of different sizes and classes. The latest report here indicates that hotel occupancy on the books looking 90 days out is at 32.8%. That's 6 points higher than we were same time last year. So it's always looking at, okay, here we are now. How did we compare to same time last year? Weekdays, 90 days out, are looking really good at 31% occupied so far on the books. That's 8 points higher same time last year. Weekends remain solid. They're not really have changed. They're up about two percentage points at 37% occupancy on the books. February looks really good, over same time last year, about 10 points higher than we were last year. March is pacing about 3% ahead. So as we go into 23, we're looking really good.
And there's 145 hotels in this sample.
Correct.
So that's the hotels that participate
Yes.
in the forward.
It's not
star.
all, but it does
Gotcha.
give you a good indication. And it's not just all luxury or all economy. It's looking at the list provided by STR, it's very cross-section of the county. This heat map, I'm going to dive into international data. I just got this data from a U.S. travel provided by Tourism Economics that does their number crunching for them in late January. And this is showing you by year as a percentage of international visitors going back to our benchmark of 2019, and it goes throughout 26. So this is all international visitors coming into the greater United States. I note here, tourism economics, this is all subject to change. World economic factors that are ongoing, good and bad, with the COVID rate of recovery across the world, inflation, global recession, and then the strength of the US dollar and how that impacts international visitation. That being said, the numbers are really improving for the US, albeit slower than we hoped. Overall, we're going from 63% benchmark last year to now we're looking at 12 points higher. We'll be at 75% recovered. Full annual recovery, so going beyond 2019 numbers with added growth, is going to happen for the greater US market in 2025. The big markets that are recovering faster, where we're getting more international visitors, is our neighbors to the north, Canada and the UK. They should best the 2019 numbers by 2024. So looking at just international visitors coming to Nashville, Tourism Economics does some reporting for us. And here's the outlook for this year, 2023, and a breakout of origin markets. On the left, you can see the light blue, that's overseas travelers. And the dark gray is the international visitors coming from North America, the number one market, again, Canada, and the fifth market being Mexico. And you can see the breakout of visits and then overnight stays and the volume. Overall, it's fairly optimistic forecast for 23. We're looking at a projection of 326,000 visitors coming to Nashville from international origins. That's up 25% year over year. 24 is when Nashville is going to recover with international. That's what they're predicting, to be fully back and then achieving growth, probably 9% growth compared to the 2019 numbers we had, which was the most we've ever had in international visitation. And hopefully in 25, we'll see continued growth. They're projecting 490,000 visitors that are international. So you can see that we can have an aspirational goal beyond 25 to bring in 500,000 international visitors to Nashville.
Is British Airways, is that 7 days a week now, or still
Right now, it's five,
five?
but they'll pick back.
Just another snapshot of where we could be at in 25 when the international market stabilizes. Overall, we'll be up 25% in visitors and up 24% compared to 19 by the time we get to 25. Canada will still be projected our number one market, and that's going to bring in 55% of the visitors. So if you compare everyone coming from Canada and then those overseas, so those people traveling across the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, overseas visitors will be 42% of international visitors, just to give you perspective of where people are coming from. Our number two market will be the UK at 8% market share, followed by Australia, which will have 5%, and then Japan and Germany are expected to get 4% share each. Here's some more data on New Year's Eve. Dina spoke to a lot of this, but I'll kind of give you some highlights. Again, a record 210,000 attendees. The survey indicated about 46% were visitors. And then in our survey, we asked where they were from. So the top market was Kentucky, probably a lot of drive market going to the Music City Bowl that day. When asked, did they attend the football game, 16% said yes. That was higher than the previous year when they said 14%. Other top origin markets, people coming to New Year's Eve, were Tennessee, so other parts of Tennessee coming to the great event. Florida, Texas, and Illinois, all getting about 5% share.
And I'll speak to this too. When the drive being 75%, which is really unusual, it's normally about 50-50. And if you'll recall, that's when the meltdown with the airlines was. So a lot of visitors even called us to say they canceled their airlines, but they were still renting a car and driving in, which was nice that they still came.
Yeah, we did see a slight negative impact from the Southwest that were earlier in the week. It wasn't during the event, but it did disrupt everyone's lives who were traveling that week. The age demographic skewed a little older this year. So the 20 to 29s, it went from the prior year of 42% down to 30% of those surveyed. We also saw a higher percentage of those making over 100,000 in annual income. So demographic-wise, we are skewing a little older and making higher income, which is nice to see. Again, the hotel numbers were fantastic, over 33,000 rooms, so sold throughout the county. That's up 13% year over year, 84% occupancy. The ADR was 275. And then if you narrow down to just the downtown hotels, they command premium rates during New Year's Eve. It was at the average of 347, and the downtown hotels were 88% occupied on New Year's Eve. So looking historically how this event has grown, well done by all.
Yeah. 347?
The average in downtown.
It was you.
That was all you. Nice work.
Because it was skewing it up.
That's all I had. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Oh, this is some great information.
Wow.
I think my favorite page is the hotel performance page.
I bet it was. It's all Christmas trees all going up.
Yes.
All going up, that is amazing. I mean, and you look at January and February with Omicron, it was impactful for us, for hotels, but still, we rebounded pretty quickly, so. We like the Christmas trees. So,
All year long.
well, thank you all for those reports. Is there any other business or announcements? No announcements? Congratulations again to TSU on that Grammy, so.
2 Grammys.
Yeah, 2 Grammys. Great news.
The only collegiate band to ever do that.
Oh, really?
incredible.
Oh, well, that's even better. Look at grow and shine. Well, our next meeting, I did not put that on here, will be in May. I believe it's May 8th, but it will be in May. So if there are no other business or announcements, we will stand adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you. That was quick. Quick and good news. We'll take it, right?
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.